Hello, and welcome back. Congratulations on completing the second ever weekly Duckling Seed. If you have not played it yet, don't watch this. Pause it, put it in a little other window, minimize it. Go play the second weekly async. I don't know what its fancy name is going to be yet because we haven't come up with that yet. Well, Mo hasn't come up with that yet. But go play it, then come back and watch this. That aside, for everyone who's done that, yay, welcome back. Alright, so I haven't really looked at these flags except for in helping get them up and running, so let's take a look at them. First tab, we got shops and magic levels, pretty standard there. Everything else, no unsafe pirates, pretty standard there. Using the original in trap tiles. I messed that up last week, so that's a thing that I should try to keep in my head more. Running a lot of league races where those are shuffled. So Agamas are on the table, Eyes are on the table. Don't want to check Astos' trap tiles because they're all bad, things like that. Treasures this week. So last week we had up to 3 important things out missing in boxes in the wild. This week we have, and one of them ended up being, the bottle with fairy in it. That kind of threw everyone for a bit of a loop. This week, everything, we know where it is. Unless something really weird happens and we get a cabin from the king, which shouldn't happen, everything is good. Everything is in known locations, and those locations are the main locations, so just the kind of normal order that we would get things in, plus waterfall, and ice ordeals in marsh. So unlike last week, what that means is that this week we have to go to every dungeon in the game. Now, that said, one of the incentivized items is white shirt. So if we can logically deduce that white shirt is, say, in Ice Cave, maybe we can skip Ice Cave. Maybe we can skip Marsh. That said, if we get Ice Cave or white shirt anytime early, well, then we just have to go everywhere. So we're expecting that we have to full clear the game, but we only have to open the mandatory chests. Goal, all this is normal. Map, all of this is, again, pretty normal. Don't have confused old men on, that's becoming more and more common, but open progression, extended open progression, Titan's Trove, and Castle Ordeal pillars. That's pretty standard these days. Scale, prices are, whatever. Enemy stats and boss stats are only 150, so we could get away with like level 18, 19. We'd be really comfortable at level 20, 21. So that's a thing we should keep in mind while we're making our party and as we're going through the game. That said, XP is 3.5 plus 60. So still a little bit of bonus from kills, but not nearly as much, but times 3.5. That is a ton of XP. So that coupled with the sentence we said a second ago that, level 20, 21 is probably sufficient, means we can be really picky with our fights. Now, that means a player who isn't me is gonna, do really, really well on this. I am really greedy. If you watched my last video, you know that. I can't turn down a Soria fight, even if it's the right play. So that's that. Overworld and dungeon encounter rate is down to 0.8, so that'll help us with our greed problem a little. And forced party members are 1. We'll see what that is when we get started in here. Interestingly, we've got no progressive scaling, so we can start taking fights as early as right out the get-go. That makes the Carib fight look a little bit better. That makes single Hydras look a little bit better. That makes early Volcano look a little bit better. Because we don't need to worry about it. It also means that this week is more of a routing challenge. We want to try to get things while we're in the area. Now, sometimes that doesn't always work, and Shadowwalker is probably better at that than me, so if he ends up uploading a video, maybe make a note to go out and watch that. If Fizzle uploads a video for this week, he's quite good at routing as well, so those could be really good to watch. Next page, conveniences, normal stuff. Everything's turned on, we got a free bridge. Pretty normal stuff there. Bug fixes are bug fixes, fun percent. I turn music on so that, when I'm not talking, there's something to listen to. Alright, put my secondary monitor back to having, those 3 pulled up so that I can remember it. On a glance, if partway through I get confused and think, oh no, what am I doing? Where should I be going? I can just glance over, look at out the corner of my eye, and be reminded. I don't have any maps pulled up or anything because I know them pretty well, but it's entirely reasonable for you to have maps pulled up at this point. Maybe have the world map pulled up, some caves that you know that you're bad at. You know that we're going to Marsh, and if you don't have what Marsh caves are up, I believe that Mo's going to have a really helpful document that you could have up on your second screen or pulled up on your phone maybe, during the run of this to help with things like, where do I go in Marsh Cave? Let's look and see what party we've got. Forced Red Mage, so basically we have nothing forced. It is a rare day that you don't want to take a Red Mage in a fighter, so yeah, so really nothing forced. So let's start with that. So we know that we're going to go through a lot of dungeons and that we want to be running away a lot, but also that we don't terribly care about, you know, how we end up with levels and with gear, because things are going to be relatively easy. That leans me heavily towards a thief, but at the same time, a thief isn't going to help us much in ordeals, except for as a black magic caster. That said, if we're trying to skimp as much as possible, we could technically be skipping tail as well as white shirt if they roll late into the pool. So if we were looking to like shave every second possible, that's a possible strategy we could make at this point. You know, commit to like thief black belt here, try to avoid both tail and white shirt on a gamble if they roll in places that are skippable, and try to, you know, cut 1 to 2 dungeons out. I think that's a really reasonable way to play this. Knowing that we have to go Ice Cave and ordeals, and there's a decent chance we have to do that relatively early. That makes me want another black caster. And thief can be another black caster, but if so, then we already have tail, which means that we already have tail and floater, which means we have access to everything. So he's not a black caster in that case. So that pushes me towards another red or another black. If I don't want thief at all, I might want to take the additional black just so that for the first 10 minutes of the game, my run chance isn't garbage. Because for the first 10 minutes of the game, Black Mage has a very good run chance. After that, it becomes about the same as everyone else, and then after that, it becomes actually worse than everyone else. But right at the beginning, it's pretty decent. That high XP makes me want a black belt, but at the same time, those low percentages, I don't know that I actually need it. Yep, this is a bit unorthodox. I will be surprised if anyone else takes this party comp. I want to get away from encounters since the XP is cranked up to the max. We're going to put all of our weight on that fighter, getting us through as quick as possible. We are going to use those red mages to hope to get warp and or exit. Warp is the preferable one in this case because of Martian ordeals. And if we don't get it, that's fine. We'll just run away from everything. Kind of going all in on offense plus run chance here. And assuming that we're going to do it at a reasonable to moderate level. If we get a Mazza, that's going to push our desire to get that fighter up to 24, 25. I think it's 25. No, it's 24. Up to 24 where he gets the extra Mazza swing. If we don't get a Mazza, then anything in the 20s is going to be fine. But at times 3.5, we're probably going to be fine on levels even without thinking about it. That also means that unless we, end up at I grind super early, we're probably not going to take any grind tiles meaningfully. We might take, 3 Agamas just because they're on the way. We might take I once or twice just because it's on the way. If we don't have warp, obviously. But yeah, so that's our plan going in. Run away from things, nuke things, use fighter to win the game. Alright, let's see how well that turns out. And we're going in 3, 2, 1, go. Harm 3's alright. Ice 2 is what we're going to be using. Oh, that Harm 3 was in the wrong slot, wasn't it? Yeah. Ruse there for our fighter, something that we might want to pay attention to. Cheap chain armor is exactly what we want to see. And the fact that we've even got wood in there. We could skip the wooden if we wanted to, but you can always skip the wooden armor. I like it a little bit better when Thief's in the second slot since he gets hit more often, but it doesn't actually help that much. Buying literally any weapon for fighter, not always necessary. We've got a fair bit of magic. Crown right there, so we need to pay attention to that. And relatively cheap as well, so I bought the cabin so that we can save outside of Temple of Fiends. I've been having Temple of Fiends go against me relatively frequently lately, so I've been wanting more and more to have that early save item to make sure that things go our way. Beginning of the encounter table sucks, so we're going to be soft resetting, not hard resetting, unless there's a hero run after these three, which there might be. Okay, that's going to be our crown. Decent run after those three. I don't know that it's going to be enough to make me want to burn the first three, but if there's a nasty encounter, we need to step around. And there's a dead garland at level 2. Just realized that I hadn't turned the sound back up. What do we get? We got canoe and loot. So walking right is on the table, but we also have the crown. We don't have terribly good magic. Just buying kind of initial provisions to get us to at least sages. It's a decent little run. So yeah, if there's a super hard dungeon, we might burn 3 encounters and then go in, but elsewise I think we're just in soft reset territory. Yeah. Yeah, when an iguana gives you level 3, you know the XP's turned up a bit. Heal 3 is nice. Life is also nice. So having heal 3 and life on 3 casters. Ooh, actually choices. Nope, not choices. Taking Quad X there is really, really good. You should probably take it. I am playing on the side of safety. This lets me dive things at lower levels and at higher risk, but makes me a little bit weaker in fights. That is a trade-off. Staggering your spell charges. Hold on, I'll explain that more in a minute. Staggering those spells so that you take sets of them such that you have access to the Quad X and access to life and heal 3 is entirely reasonable. Since our plan is we're going all in on fighter, we're going to have 3 people who can cast temper. That is our plan. So we wouldn't want to skip that one on anyone. There's the white shirt, so that's out of the pool. potions? Yeah. Gonna buy just a couple heal potions. And some tents. Check this armor shop, looking for, you know, basically that. Something that'll get us through the river that was cheap, but not, you know, wanting to dump our whole budget on it or anything. And silver shield is a silver shield or silver hat would have been good, because when we obsolete them, we can pass them down to the ninja once he's a ninja. If sages... Oh, this encounter table, yeah. If sages don't have floater, we're left in a kind of interesting place, where basically then we're looking at diving ice. We don't want to be diving ice right now, like, at all. So we might go clear out volcano just for the levels and the gear. But it would not... or marsh for the levels and... Well, or marsh just to knock it off. But it would not be unreasonable to go turn in Crown Quest, do that all on foot. It might take a little longer, but it's definitely going to be safer than jumping volcano at, you know, 9 minutes. Relatively weak Caribs. We already have that, so we didn't really need to be looking at that. Iron armor. Iron armor is super good. If we wanted just literally the best, that silver armor was reasonably priced. There's exit. And nuke and fast. Okay, so we definitely need to come back here when we have, you know, spell charges to actually use that, and preferably after class change. Okay, so yeah, it's either in ice or it's in marsh. You don't have warp. Have we seen houses for sale yet? We have, and they're cheap. Alright, let's buy a couple more heal potions. Cool. Glad I didn't instinctively hit reset. We're going to take a fight right here. Actually, we're going to power cycle, see what the first fight up here is. We don't like it. Let's see what the second one is. We do like it. Now, we don't have the spell power to take out carry, probably. So that makes going marsh really reasonable, since that would let us walk by Elfland. Let's see what the third one is. Third one is also Peds. Alright. We're going to take a couple of Ped fights so that we're prepared for carry. Would have preferred to not be ambushed by the Peds, but, you know. You take what you can get. Could have gone better. We're kind of hoping to get everyone up towards 10. Single peed. That's almost not worth our time. Also, we should change Rojo and Red's position, since Rojo will have the higher hit points. The ambush rate on those peds is a little unfortunate, but I think this, all in all, has worked out really well. Alright. There we are. Seems good. I was gonna pound reset, but then I realized we need to buy heal potions. Again, we could have bought silver armor for our red mages instead of chain. It would have been an upgrade by 8 absorb, but eh. Going ice cave here is entirely reasonable as well. Since we know it has an incentive location. Or just noping out, going to Elfland, going to Marsh, also entirely reasonable. Now we know that we don't have anything loose, so at this point it's just about what chests do you want to open looking for gear. Yes. Paralisks tend to be a pretty good encounter, especially if you have ice magic to kill them easily. Normally waiting to move your equipment around is a good plan, but I knew I was taking this Grey Worm, and if it was unrunnable, I wanted to have the extra damage. Katana will be useful later, or we can sell it. It's a little unfortunate ambush. That is even more unfortunate. I was planning on using those heal 3s. Ribbon. Ribbon is nice. So at this point, since we had to use all those spell charges, I'm going to walk out, use a house. Oh, that's nice. Putting the ribbon on the third slot one just because it's less likely to die to random, getting hit. Argument for putting it on tap, but tap doesn't know life, so we're putting it on someone who does instead. We're going to use a house, so our spell charges are irrelevant at this point. So it's just about getting through this unrunnable as fast as possible. We want these peds. Low roll on the bottom left one, so that's the one that we're going to want our Meliers to hit. Low roll on all of them on that one. Come on, Rojo, you can live. You can do it. Awesome. Nope. We got plenty of levels. We don't need that encounter. Walking as much on lava as possible because it means it doesn't increment the step counter. And we have heal 3 to get us back out of it. 2 heal 3 casts should bring us back to full. Wooden stick. Still looking for a weapon so we can fight carry, particularly since we don't have exit or warp, so we're kind of committed. Wow, that was not what we want to be seeing. Come on, a weapon. Flame armor is very nice, but isn't a weapon. Agamas are great, they're wonderful XP. They're a lot better if you can kill them with a weapon than having to spend spell charges on them. They natively have 300 hit points, so they're going to have, 2 to 450 in this mode. I already got that chest, so I shouldn't have checked it, because that chest is linked to a chest in the far left room. Agama? Yeah, we don't have the spell charges to do this much. Yeah, we're gonna need those spell charges too. Alright, we might have to be breaking out the chaos strats for carry 1. Never a good feeling. Come on, a sword. Because of how desperately we don't want to die and lose all of this, and how much we want to, we have 5 charges. This feels bad. Alright, if this doesn't have anything in it, we're tempering up a silver knife. Well, that's not nothing, but I also can't kill Carrie with it. Curses. It's not looking good. It's looking pretty bad. So having to use a life charge from Red to raise Rojo means Red only has 1 temper charge left, which means that Rojo needs to do a lot of work to get us through Carrie. It would be entirely reasonable to walk out of Volcano and save your progress. We're not using the heal 3, even though it would save a bunch of time, because the heal 3 is our temper charges, and, well, that's kind of our only hope at the moment. We don't even have a wizard staff or anything. I am glad I opened that window. I had forgotten that we picked up that silver axe. It's not good, but it's a lot better than a silver knife. Alright, let's see how this goes. That's bad. So it's 7 damage after a temper. And Thunder Carry yet again. And our temper caster is dead. Should have moved Ribbon over to tap. Or over to tap or over to Rojo. Both of those would have been. And tap got slowed. Cool. This is... I don't know that I want to say that this is literally impossible at this point. So, that sucked. Normally, when something that bad happens to you, it tilts you. You get upset, you make bad plays. I am not immune to such an effect. Yeah, we even lost the, no, we kept Armory, so at least we got that. We got to keep Armory. And down there was the Silver Axe, which was irrelevant. And what else was there? There was the Flame Armor, the Flame Shield. A lot of money that was irrelevant. I don't remember where the Flame Armor was. So I don't think that we have the tools to take on that carry right now, so it's relatively reasonable to redive, get the items that you think are going to help you with progression and, you know, and then move on with your life, but I don't think those things matter. I think that the Flame Armor we can replace. Like, you know, we'll get other armor. Worst comes to worst, we'll buy Steel Armor. The XP that we got in there was nice, but that's a whole lot of time. And I don't want to go in there to grind XP just to leave again. First turn Thunder, carry, or second turn, either way, Thunder carry, we're not getting through at this level. So we just need more gear and more level to get through her, and then she'll be relatively easy. Oh, we found the Adamant. Where was the Adamant? The Adamant was in Red D chest, so that's something we should keep in mind. This part of the encounter table that we noted that was awful, I think we're at it again. Which means the bottom floors should be a bit friendlier. So that's good. I kind of like taking the upper left here because I actually like taking the mage fight. I don't think that I'm taking both because we know that nothing's loose, so it doesn't matter that much. So I don't want to take all the extra steps for one chest. They rolled a lot of hit points. That's unfortunate. Mages always have really strong magic defense, so you're going to low roll them, but they tend to have really low hit points, so that's okay. Most level 3 spells will one-shot them, and you know, it's 834 XP. Oh, unrunnable. Ice is really bad here, because they resist it. All the incorporeal undead do. Corporeal undead might resist it as well. Ooh, that makes it even worse. We're not going to take the ice dragons because we don't have a good way to deal with them. But we are going to take at least 5 of the bottom 6 chests. We don't have a way to deal with the frost rue, but I think we can just run away from them. Oh, it's the wraiths that had heat. I misread that. So we should have been targeting them with our melee. Like, we want 300 XP, but if we had a real sword, we'd take that. Wow. Chests are not friendly today. And either the ambush rates aren't friendly, or our fighter has been rolling bad luck. Wow. A lot of nothing so far. You know, and if you walked left, got Crown turned in, went to Elfland Castle, got the Elfland spells, got those extra things, you know, this playthrough is going to look incredibly different for you. And that's going to happen in any race. You know, there will be a player who has done that. And so watching back their video compared to this one is going to show a very different experience. And that's part of what makes all this so fun. Oh, thank you. Alright, now we have a real weapon. So now we could do things like Agama grinding. This fight's going to be pretty close. The FFR giveth and the FFR taketh away. That was a misclick. For reasons which should be obvious. Cool. Well, we made it through the fight. So normally here we wouldn't want to waste all the time and all of the potions to heal up so much, but knowing that those heat wraiths are around, even though they have, you know, the instant death. That Mazza is going to let us take a couple of eye fights, though, if we want them. And given that we likely have to go to Marsh here in a second, I think that we are going to take a couple. And we know what that volcano has waiting for us. I think that we are going to take a couple of fights. Since Mazza can one-shot them. Silver hat. And a wear sword. Okay. I forgot that wear sword was one of the ones in that tier that he can't use. Yeah, we have to go to Ordeals. Fun. So yeah, walking the other direction would have really paid off in this seed. Because you'd be in the air by now. Which means you could have access to warp, which means that all of this would go so much smoother. Unless this is a super secret ship TNT seed and, you know, we just happen to skip all the wrong boxes. Which is possible, but not terribly likely. So given that we know we have really good spells in levels 1 and 2, there's an argument for not leveling up much here, since we already have Tail. You know, let's just get in the air, not lose the spell charges. And that's a fair argument. We've got basically the levels that we need for the whole rest of the game. We could just move on with our lives right now. But I also have Mazza, so I know I'm going to 25, so I don't really mind getting up to 17 here. And I think this is our last fight. those, aren't you? That would have helped if that had killed it. Decrease the number of squints and blazes coming in. Or heat, not blazes. Alright, now we just gotta get out, which again, having that exit spell would have been handy for. We also, now having found both tail and white shirt, know that we can't skip any of the things. Which is fine, we've hit almost all of them. We just have Marsh, Sarda, and Waterfall left. Also with that Mazza, if we wanted to go kill Carrie while we're in the area, we could. But since we're basically guaranteed to be in the air once we clear Marsh, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Again, ship TNT nonsense notwithstanding. I don't remember what slots those exit was in. I remember that it was here at Crescent, so we're gonna see if it was learnable. Because if it is, it's gonna make Marsh a lot faster. While on the river, poison doesn't tick, so we don't have to cure that immediately. And that might have repoisoned us, so it would have just been a waste of time. Oh, took a misstep there. So kind of a rough beginning here, but, you know, sometimes you have rough beginnings. That's just kind of the way it is. Let's go see if we can learn that exit and or nuke. Nope. Yeah, and we don't want to fill it up with Fire 3 even if we could, just because, you know, we really want all of those spells. No, that's not where I meant to go. Fighter with a Mazza could probably have one-shot that Hydra, that's why I told it to attack, run, 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 just because it guarantees a one round. Same here. See? like that. Alright. What you got for us? That all would have been nice. So that Brack can be a strategy for getting us through Krakenantia 1. That Ice 3 is just gonna be awesome for the whole game. Because Ice 3 is the second best damaging spell. I would argue it's better than Fade, but I could see someone saying that Fade was better. Life 2 in an unlearnable slot. And nothing. We could go back and pick up those Invis 2s. We have the money, and there's a non-zero chance we'll want them in Topher. We'll see. That might have been a waste of a little bit of time, but it's a little bit of safety. Nothing there, because we already have the item. Wow, still no gold or pro rings, or I forgot where they were, one or the other. And Marsh Cave for the floater, here we come. We still kind of want some armor, but we have our Mazza, so our weapon situation is pretty sorted. If we had loose items, I'd be going north first, because it tends to be quicker to clear out the north before you go south. But we don't have loose items, so I'm just not going to open them, even though we know that Ice and Volcano are pretty devoid of good things. Oh, the bones have Blaze. Ah, we're wishing even harder that we had access to that exit spell. Or Warp. Because getting out of here alive might be a little tricky. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't save before going in. So my logic there was that I thought that I had saved just before going in, and I thought that it might be faster to pound reset and re-get to where I was than risk risk running out of life and heal 3 charges, you know, on the way back up, and then have to redive entirely. But obviously with the extra walk from Elfland, that made it not a good play. At least the gargoyles are relatively low HP. Unfortunately, we didn't kill them in one shot, but... gold bracelet. So we would get more bang for the buck out of our gold bracelet by putting that. That's something, and also a little terrifying. On our thief, but our thief is, we're happy leaving him in the bottom slot. We're happy with letting him die. If something attacks down there, whereas Rojo, being the second slot, gets hit by a quarter of our attacks. So, alright, there's that as expected. Do we want to take the time to get the 2 extra chests? I think we'll take one of them. Yeah, we'll take them both. Kind of paid off. Since we have Floater and we have Tail. that opal is going to be useful here in just a second. And other than keylock chests, that route that I just took actually collects everything on this floor. The thief shouldn't have attacked, that was just a misclick. And these chests, some of them are linked down and some of them are linked up, but that's okay. We don't need them. We're not sitting through an ambush for 4 steps or whatever. I felt awfully like the beginning of the encounter table. I think we just hit the end and then back to the beginning of the encounter table. Which would mean we're going to pick up Astos while we're here. Not the most efficient, but it's what we're doing. Alright, now it's just down to floater, finishing the crown chests all up, going in class changing, raiding Cardia, waterfall ordeals, and then winning the game. So because of that, that looks like we're probably aiming at a little bit over 130, which means that we're running behind, which means that we need to work on saving some time. Now, we know that we're behind just, logically, because we had that giant wipe in Volcano that lost us a ton of time, and we took the not efficient to get in the air route. So those things would, just kind of contextually tell us that we're behind, but also looking at the timer tells us that. The Ice 3s are there because if you fail to run in a big encounter like that, it just wastes so much time that I didn't want to even risk the possibility of having to waste that much time. We have a ruby, so if we wanted to feed the Titan and get those 4 chests, we could. It's not actually a very time-efficient 4 chests. Do we have slab yet? We do. So we actually are going to pick them up because they're just kind of a feeling. And then we're going to stop by Lefane. Or not Lefane. Melmond. To get that translated and to check for warp while we're there. And crap. That was sufficiently crap that it's not even worth walking out. Fade and Cure 4. And warp. Alright. We're going to class change and then come back. And cheap gold bracelets. We actually don't even need to keep this because we'll move flame down. Cool. Equip that katana. Yeah, so we're doing alright. We still want to find the, we don't have warp yet. We still want to find the town that has, prayer rings in it, but looks like that's going to be Gaia. Procape. Procape's nice. We need to go on a magical shopping spree for spells. And so, since I'm going back to Elfland after class change anyway, I'm gonna not bother going there now. Do we have bottle yet? We do not. So bottle is in either ordeals or waterfall. Because of that, we want to do ordeals first, so that then we have a better chance to go and get fairy and be able to do waterfall while we're killing Kraken. Not having a warp or exit makes class change, 20-some seconds more annoying, because we have to walk all the way out. Wow. All of the treasure chests this game are bad. We don't need to check Oasis Vendor because we already have our object. But if we did, it's directly in line with where we parked the airship, so that makes it really easy to line up and check. Ice Sword. Ice Sword's a really good pre-class change sword. But obviously we have Mazza. It's the best pre-class change fighter sword, but again, Mazza. Actually, Sun Sword is Ice Sword's the second, but still, it's really good. And yeah, we're good on that. We need a suit of armor for him, but other than that, we're good. We don't have exit. So we basically just want, a ribbon's always nice. But we're fine on weapons, we're fine on armor. We need a suit of armor for tap, so if we see steel armor, we might just buy that. And we need to find the store with prayer rings in it, but other than that, we're golden. I don't think there was anything here. Yeah. Oh. Lol. Obviously that was just a mistake. Meant to turn this in. Just got too excited about buying spells. Power bonk. Again, I'm... you didn't have pro rings, right? Yeah. Just making sure. We want that exit and that nuke. And that fast. I could swear. And I am wrong. So is it the first slot they can learn then? Maybe it's the first slot they can learn. Obviously an area that I still need to learn. You go to Provoca by spells, go to Canaria by spells, go to Melman by spells. Actually, Canaria only had Ice too, so we're good. I had Ruse as well, I guess, didn't it? We don't have exit charges yet. We also want to check these 6 chests. Just because they're very low impact, easy to check chests. Second Brocade's nice. We're moving the thief up to the front just because we want the, you know, less ambush chance. And for no other reason. Yep, no steal or pro rings. So it looks like both of them are just in Gaia, or we completely and totally missed them. One or the other. Heal hat is just a fancy silver hat. Casting heal 1 in battle is rarely worth the time that it takes. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are corner cases, but... okay, a ribbon. Good. So now tap is both a life caster and our whole game plan of how we're planning on winning this game. So protecting him from instant death and, you know, taking less damage from those big AoEs doesn't really matter if he's the only one alive at the end of a Fiend 2 fight, because he's the only one who's going to finish a Fiend 2 fight. So if we only had one ribbon before going to Topher, we'd have to be switching it over. And warp, please tell me warp is learnable. Thank you. Alright, and now we can get back to playing the game. We are here, so we're going to go kill Lich. We have Rod, right? Pretty sure we have Rod. Yep, we have Rod, so we're going to go kill Lich. And again, other than, you know, a suit of armor and the shop that sells pro rings, we're pretty much golden on our gear. So we don't really need to be opening chests. And since Earth doesn't really have much of anything, strictly speaking, on the way. I mean, these ones are kind of on the way. The 3 up there. And then I walk wrong. The 3 up there are pretty on the way, so I could have picked them up. And that would have been entirely reasonable. I'm going to pick up the one behind Vampire. I might pick up 1 or 2 more on this floor. You know, I have the firepower to take out the Earth really quickly on the one that the Earth is guarding. With both Masa and Katana and way too many levels. And this room up here is very few steps to check. Please move, wizards. So the bad news is that we're running way behind where we want to be time-wise. The good news is we're set up. I mean, we don't have perfect gear, we don't have perfect levels, but like we've got everything we need to beat the game. Like if we could go into Topher right now, I would feel perfectly comfortable diving it right now. I'd probably take levels up to 25 on a grind tile just to get that extra attack from Masa. But other than that, we'd be good to go. So really it's just... Well, and we have to, you know, get the rest of the key items to let that statement exist, you know, to let us get into. But yeah, from here on out, it's just kind of take a couple of more fights. Try not to, you know, have anything go terribly wrong. Win the game. Pick up pro rings when we find the town that has them. Also, the fact that we found that second ribbon and we can put it straight on tap makes us more comfortable about having the bonk equipped on him. Since the bonk is a little bit worse absorb, but more importantly doesn't protect us at all like a pro ring does. Having the ribbon on it makes up for that latter half, and the 2 or whatever it is absorb loss is, you know, it's fine. When we get to a little rougher dungeons, we're probably gonna not want that thief out in front, but for these dungeons that are largely irrelevant, we just would rather have him out there. Lich is going to have at most 600 hit points in these flags, so not really deserving of terribly much respect. If we remembered where that flame armor was, we would pick it up right now. I don't remember where that flame armor was. But I am currently trying to remember, that's why I'm not talking. I want to say it was the top left room, but I don't think that I actually want to walk enough out of the way to do that, especially since steel armor, which is worse, you know, meaningfully worse, is gonna be somewhere we can buy it. We don't need to go pick up that adamant because we have Masa. There it is. Awesome. Alright, we're good to go then. Now it's just those couple of pro rings, which again should be in Gaia, which whenever we get Fairy, which hopefully we'll get from more deals, we'll be able to pick up. Don't need adamant. Buy adamant. We actually have some warp charges, so that's going to make ordeals a little bit easier now. And Carrie here could have up to 900 hit points. Looks like she rolled some absorb and some evade, but no hit points, so we're good. We need to do the Lupa translation, so we might as well do that now. Didn't want to use the tent there because I want to be able to keep it linearly in my inventory for heal potions. We've got some houses, so really it's just about getting through these fights as fast as possible. Menuing down to Fade would probably make it take less actions, but then it has that extra menuing and loading time, so your mileage may vary. I personally find that menuing down to that second page is almost never worth it during a battle, unless it's like, you know, a fiendry fight or something. But I know people who come down on the other side of that, and some of that might just have to do with their own personal input speed compared to mine. Like if Fire 3 had been like in the second slot, I probably would have taken that Zombo fight. These unhonorable giants, though. Hoping to get level 19 before we go into ordeals, so I'm taking a fight that I might otherwise have skipped. If I was much lower level, I would have taken that one, like always. There's 19 on Thief. Now we just need it on Fighter, so we have one spell charge from everybody. We'll take it. Nope. Low hit points on the Tyros. It's interesting. There's level 19. Alright, so we got a life charge on tap now. I love sandworms. Sandworms are great. They're lots of XP for very little effort, which, in my book, makes them great. Where I just parked is where you want to park, because it's the least number of steps from there to ordeals. And here you want to do the kind of zigzaggy walk, because it gets you, again, the least number of steps. Because stepping onto and off of a river tile doesn't increment the step counter, so no step, no step, no step. Using the tent there just to line things up. Bottom. bottom top. Bottom top 2. Bottom top too close. Nope. Bottom top too far. Alright, if we die, it's bottom top too far. Everyone remember where we left the car. Rhyming not intended. We're past this point in the game, where we want to take a single whiz mummy fight. Like, don't get me wrong, we want a little bit more XP, but not single whiz mummy XP. We'll take nightmares because we have ice 3, and that is what kills nightmares. Life lessons from FFR: sleep in a cool room to ward off nightmares. We could be skipping these chests to save a few seconds, but, you know, I'm going to keep opening them anyway. And what amazing loot we found for our time. Oh good, it's bottle. It's the one we wanted. So that means whatever it is that we don't have. Cube. Cube is the thing that is left. We're going to take this zombie D fight. So cube is at waterfall, so vanilla cube. And we can turn this into the fairy, pick up our pro rings, and be happy with ourselves. Ice 3 is going to do no damage, it's just there to, if the thief doesn't quite kill his. Like happened. We're basically only going to be picking up chests that are literally on the way. Since again, we're pretty happy with our gear, and the only thing we're looking for is that level 25 would be kind of nice. But not really, strictly speaking, necessary. We don't need to buy the steel armor anymore, because we got the flame armor, which is just a little bit better. But we do want the pro rings. Hey look, pro rings. Tap can't carry it, tap's already full up. Alright, we need to do inventory management. Good enough. There we are. We're fine on heals, so we don't need to buy anything in there. We're fine on save items. We're actually going to have to burn through a stack of save items, so we don't want to buy any more of those. So let's just pick up fairy, go to robot, kill last 2 fiends, win the game. That was a heck of a hero run. It'd be nice if we knew where in the encounter table that was, so that we might be able to find it and try to time it a little bit. Yeah, we'll take Paralisks. Again, by this point stage in the game, that, you know, Paralisk XP isn't terribly good, but we're just kind of trying to get to 25 so we get the extra swing on the Mazza, particularly since we didn't get access to fast, so we're relying on just tempering up the Mazza. And we're also wanting to pick up those couple of extra spell charges just for safety. And we want Paralisks, but we don't want them that much. The first one felt pretty defensible, but since we're at that dense part of the encounter table, it's feeling less defensible. The reason I'm taking all these Mudgalls is because they just die super easy, and even though they aren't great XP, you know, if they were packs of 3 Mudgalls, they're actually decent XP, but one of them, it's just kind of that they die quickly enough. We're going to take this fight. We even rolled decently on it. That fight is almost always 9 characters, so anytime that you have a bonus to per kill XP, it's worthwhile. Oh good, now we have a boat. We'll have something to do after we kill Chaos. That Hydra we should have run away from. I wanted to take a drink of water. And that is the entirety of the reason why I took the fight. We could have burned off our 9 cabins there in order to make heal potioning in here go a little quicker, since we know we'll be burning them off in a second anyway. Naga didn't roll terribly many hit points and didn't seem too threatening. Oh, I guess a lot of hit points, just not very threatening. So, we don't mind taking her 600 XP. No reason to go to mermaids. We've got, it's not incentivized, and we've got, you know, all the gear that we need to beat the game. So at this point it would just be kind of a waste of time. Ambushed by ghosts. That's unfortunate. And ghosts hit like Mack trucks. Always. They're always terrifying. They're one of those enemies that if they roll a script, it's also often better for you, because then they aren't, you know, hitting you for 100. If it was more waters, we have ice 3, so they would be a decent... Okay, since we're stun locked, we don't want to take our chance on trying to run away, we want to just plow through it. But a bunch of waters die to ice 3 pretty well, and are worth very good XP. And since basically the only magic we have is ice magic, Thief hitting 22 there, I believe, gives him an extra katana swing, but I might be wrong. Awesome. No, he's already got a flame shield. we'll do it anyway. So that's 10 more absorb on tap, which is awesome for us. Literally on the way. That was 0 steps out of our way. I know it looked like it was, what, 6, but they were all no encounter steps, so often worth picking up that one. I usually like taking that whole room, particularly because it has such a good grind tile in it, but we're doing alright. And particularly with that opal armor. Opal armor, opal shield, ribbon, bonk. I mean, that is one of the iterations of basically the best armor that you could have on your knight, so not much to complain about there. And trolls are worth awful XP. Brack here might have been, you know, a reasonable play, but I think that we've got enough damage that we can get through it in 1 to 2 rounds. Particularly if we get turn order like that, where the temper goes off before. Oh, or not. Kraken rolled a bit tanky, so we're going to go and take our 24 or whatever % chances on those bracks. Get there. Stop it. Might have taken that repeat, but I was already hovering on the reset button. A little sad to burn such a good run there. Then we'll burn through those houses before Topher and be good to go. We want to get, what, 3 more levels between now and carry 2? Which shouldn't be too hard to do. And even if not by carry 2, by Kraken 2 will be fine. We might have to take a couple of worm fights, but we'll be alright. And ultimately, it's looking like our time is lining up to be just what we had predicted earlier, that we would be finishing at about 140. Might be a little bit behind that. Ooh, slightly tanky Badman. So we're not going to take Badman if we see them again? It's going to be a little bit unfortunate that in Topher our heal 3 charges, which are our only meaningful healing magic, are on our temper slot, so we can't actually use them. So we're going to be very reliant on heal pots. Which, you know, we're limited to 99 of. Ouch. Yeah, we'll take that. An ice 3 should clean them up. 2 if they rolled high hit points. So 2. And they're alright XP in packs of 4 like that. These 4 chests aren't just literally on the way, but they're so close to on the way that I rarely skip them. That was a pretty decent run we had there. Good XP here. Just let's hope that the Sorks don't have anything like Death Touch or anything. Sorcerers with Death Touch. That's pretty trolly. Can you imagine anyone ever designing something like that? Let's see how low. Oh, I did that in the wrong order. I meant to have tap on the Mudgull. We'll take an Ocho. It'll take 1 round. Not the best XP, but again, we're trying to get to that 25 for the extra Mazza swing, or 24 for the extra Mazza swing. Yeah, we're taking a fight in the desert outside of here. It's 2 damage. Yeah, this is a Brack fight. Hi Tyro, how are you? Having a nice day? Chilling in the desert sun? Good. Thank you for teaching me your wisdom. Since we're relying so much on heal potions in Temple of Fiends, we want to have exactly 99. You don't have heal potions. Sigh. Well, I forgot about that. Alright. Now we'll do Topher. And there we are. Heal potions all lined up. Good to go. Nope. We got our level 24. Thanks for the offer, though, Gasties. Gasties are very good XP. That's what I'm referring to. Phantom is never good XP. Ambush on those zombie Ds is nice. Lets us get away without any of their nonsense. Either we're getting super lucky, or Tap rolled a bunch of really good luck rolls in that time that he was sitting in the second slot. One or the other. A hero run, yo. We don't need to respect Lich, so we're just going to hold A. Tornado out of Lich first turn is, you know, among the scariest Lich can do. You know, nuke and nuclear obviously as well. Gonna take a minute to have to heal up after this one. Ah! Sometimes my fingers get confused. Heal potion menuing is something that I still need to get better at. There are people who are really good at it. I don't know how they do it. But they're also probably not playing on keyboards, so that might be part of it. So after that hero run is our garbage run. Which I suppose is better on this floor than it would be if we had it on water floor. So not bad luck actually in that case. Because water floors fights can be really aggravating, and some of sky floor's fights are really devastating. Using fades here because the next couple of fights are probably going to be temper fights. So it's not like we really need the fades, we just kind of want to get through this fight. Although seeing how much Tap did there, we're not going to use fights in the next round. And elemental spells are largely irrelevant against all the Fiend 2s because they just do no damage. Even Ice 3. Yeah, basically no encounters. That's nice. Alright, what you got for us? Fire 3? That's friendly. I mean, it hurts, whatever, but, like, in the grand scheme of things. Awesome. We can probably hold A through the rest of this, then. Lit 3 as well. It's a lot of heal potions. But again, we kind of want to save those heal 3 charges since they're temper charges. One more Fiend, and then Kraken, and then Tia. Ooh, ambushed by the vampires. That's going to be some heal potions. Good XP fight here, but we don't want to take it, because we're good. And then here is our first kind of chaos warm-up fight. It's just get Tap to kill Tia and then move on. And tempering up Tap to be, you know, if everyone else dies, whatever, everyone else dies. We're just trying to get through the fight. And Tap is probably tempered up enough, so we're just going to go and use the last of our Fade charges for the rest of the fight. For that sweet 81 damage. as we're going in with 22 heal potions left. That's why we were worried about making sure of all that. We want Thief in the top slot because he's the most irrelevant. We want Tap in the second or third slot because he's the most relevant. I'm going to throw up a couple of Invis 2s. Just as we're getting set up. Just so that we don't get anyone one-shotted by a Melee Chaos. Nuclear. Fun. We're going to drop heal 3s just to try to keep everyone up. Might be the wrong approach, but we're going to do it. Oh, kept everyone up. Ouch. Alright, let's see how Tap's doing. 400, that's not very good. So beyond the nuclear, we're not terribly scared of this chaos. Gonna drop some more Invis 2s just for something to do with that red mage. There we are. Okay, so I predicted, pretty early on that we would finish at 140. And then I predicted, 20 minutes ago that we'd finish at 140, and our final time is 139.56. So pretty close to spot on. So 140 is a pretty bad time, it feels like. So what happened? Well, we lost a crap ton of time in our early game. That early loss after full clearing Volcano was a lot of time, and the decision to go in the order that got us to Floater super late at, 50 minutes or whatever it was, cost us a bunch of time. So in a race like this, in a race setting like this, I would expect to have been very solidly middle of the pack to middle bottom. Other than that, the seed went really smoothly. We got all the gear we wanted. We didn't get it in the timing we wanted, but we got it all relatively, early middle game. So we were able to stop opening chests pretty easily, or pretty early, which was nice. That let us make up some of the time that we had lost. Temple of Fiends there was a little trying, but nothing spectacularly so. We didn't lose anyone on any of the Fiendry fights. I don't think we lost anyone until Chaos at all. So we had those life charges, but we didn't need to use them. The temper up your level 24 Mazza fighter until he's able to kill Chaos plan worked just fine. Party composition would have been a little bit friendlier if we'd had a white mage, because then we would have had that exit earlier. But other than that, I think it worked out pretty well. We ended up having to take enough fights that I feel like that Thief was really worth it. Should have checked as this was scrolling by, but you can jump back a few seconds and see how much we ran away and how many fights we actually took. And yeah, I imagine that other people who run this are going to have better advice on routing, because the routing isn't my strongest place in the game, but Shadow Walker's pretty good at routing, for instance, and if Fizzle runs this, he's very good at routing. Lord Fizzlebeef, that is. So maybe check those guys out if they ran this and have videos of it as well. I hope that you enjoyed it. This is on YouTube, so I'm supposed to say like, comment, and subscribe, because those are words that people on YouTube say. Yeah, if you got questions, jump in New Player Help, or jump in just the Duckling spoiler chat, ask away. Either I or someone will get to them. Or ask on this video, or ask me in PMs, whatever. Awesome. I hope that you had fun. I had fun recording this, and see you in Discord. Bye.